You ever read an ancient text and get the feeling you're kinda missing something? Like there's a deeper secret hiding just under the words? Well, today, we're going on a linguistic treasure hunt. We're gonna see if we can unlock some wisdom that's been lost in translation for centuries.
I mean, really think about it. How much of the original power and poetry just vanishes when a huge idea from one culture gets squeezed into the words of another? That's the big question we're diving into. And we're going to start with a text that's 2,500 years old.
So, our guide for this journey is a really fascinating Buddhist text called the Sandakasutta. It's written in Pali, the language from around the Buddhist time. And for a very, very long time, people have thought they knew what it meant.
But we're going to do something a little different. We're going to translate it not once, but twice. First, we'll do the standard, by-the-book dictionary translation. Then, and this is where it gets cool, we're going to go back to the original Pali and break the words down to their ancient roots. We'll use a special linguistic insight called niruti to hear what it really sounded like all those years ago. And let me tell you, the difference is going to blow your mind.
Okay, so the sutta kicks off by describing these 4 philosophies that are basically dead ends. The first one is all wrapped up in a single, really important Pali word.
So, here it is, abrahmacharya vaso. The standard translation you'll find everywhere is an unholy life. And sure, that's accurate, I guess. But doesn't it feel a bit flat? It tells you what the life isn't. It's not holy, but it doesn't paint a picture of what it is.
But check this out. When we break the word down to its roots, an unholy life suddenly transforms into a sterile dwelling. Whoa! Now all of a sudden, it's not just about being good or bad. It's about a place where nothing of value can even grow. A totally different image. So how in the world do we get there?
Let's look at the puzzle pieces. A is simple. It just means not. Brahma, and this is the key, doesn't just mean holy. Its root meaning is about being expansive, growing, the absolute best. Kariya is your conduct, the path you walk. And vaso means a dwelling, a place you live. So it's not just an unholy life. It's a dwelling where the best kind of conduct can't take root, can't expand, a sterile place.
The visual is just so powerful, right? Imagine a house built on toxic, barren land. You can try your best to live a good life in there, but anything you plant is just going to wither and die. The whole environment is sterile. It's literally incapable of producing anything worthwhile.
The ancient text gives us the perfect example of this sterile dwelling, the philosophy of materialism. You know, the idea that says your actions, good or bad, have 0 consequences in the long run. You can be a saint, you can be a villain. In the end, it doesn't matter. Nothing comes of it. That is a philosophy where the soil is so poisoned that no seed of action can ever sprout. It is a complete dead end.
Okay, let's move on to the next concept and see how this idea builds. The text describes another kind of flawed path. This one isn't barren, but it's full of anxiety and doubt.
All right, our next term is anasasikam brahmacharyam, and the standard translation for this is a comfortless holy life. And again, yeah, it's correct, but it feels a little distant, doesn't it? A spiritual journey with no peace. But just like before, the original Pali is hiding a meaning that's way more physical, way more visceral.
And here it is. A comfortless quest becomes a breathless path. Can you feel the shift? It goes from this kind of vague emotional discomfort to a state of physical anxiety, literally not being able to catch your breath. So what is it in the original word that gives us this powerful new image?
The secret is hiding in the word asasikam. Its root, asasa, literally means breathing in. Over time, it came to mean confidence, relief, consolation. You know, that amazing feeling when you can finally take a deep, full breath after a moment of panic. So, anasasikam is a path where you can never, ever take that full, confident breath.
Just picture it. You're on some dangerous mountain pass, trying to follow a guide, but you're constantly short of breath, just gasping for air. You can't feel secure, you can't feel confident, you can never really settle in. You're just in this permanent state of unease. That's the feeling this ancient word is trying to capture. The Sandakasutta gives us this fantastic, almost funny example. It describes a teacher who claims he knows everything, that he's omniscient all the time. But then, as he's just walking around, he gets bitten by a dog, he can't find food, he has to stop and ask people for the name of the village he's in. I mean, following that guy would make you breathless with doubt, right? You can't trust the path because the guide is so obviously a fraud.
So, after laying out these sterile, breathless dead ends, what's the alternative?
The text shows us a path where you can plant seeds that actually grow, and where you can finally take that deep, confident breath, a path to real clarity.
The solution, the text tells us, is totally internal. It's a step-by-step process. You start by just calming your mind. Then, out of that stillness, a natural kind of joy and focus arises. This deepens into a profound sense of tranquility, and that finally leads to this state of pure, unshakable awareness. These are stages of deep meditation called jhana. It's a path that doesn't rely on some flawed guide outside of you, but on building your own inner stability. A path where you can actually breathe.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? We've looked at just two ancient concepts, and by digging just a little deeper into the language, we've unlocked a whole new layer of meaning.
An unholy life became a sterile dwelling. A comfortless quest became a breathless path. The concepts went from being these abstract moral judgments to these rich visual metaphors about growth, confidence, and our own inner world. The words on the page didn't change at all, but by understanding where they came from, our whole perception of them did.
And this leaves us with one last, really fascinating question. If a simple shift in translation can so radically change our understanding of one 2,500-year-old text, what other profound secrets, what other vital visual wisdom is just waiting there to be rediscovered in the ancient texts we thought we already knew?